Hello everyone, I'm TJ the Brickwright and welcome to my LEGO room. Today is a very exciting day, mostly for you, a little less so for me. We have 33 entries into the New Republic Interceptor Contest, and we're going to be going over each and every one of them. If I only spend 60 seconds on each one, that means this video is going to be a half hour long. I'm going to get carried away a little bit, I think. I don't think it's going to be a minute per person. It could be more. So let's hope I can keep it to the minute, and we'll see how it goes from there. So, as always, I'm going to go over the rules for voting. You're going to vote in the comments down below in this video. It's been a very successful way for us to tally the remarks, and I'm able to weed out a lot of spam that way. It works out really well. The rules are, in this contest, you're going to pick your top five entries into this contest, and then you're also going to be picking your top entrant in the Parseval Contest. And no, it's not just one entrant this time. We actually have three. There are three entrants into the Parseval Contest, including one who just won the last contest. So this is going to be very exciting to see what happens. How our old friend Nathan measures up being moved up into the Parseval bracket. So as we move forward into this fantastic little display, I am going to... Oh, yes. There's one thing about your votes this time. Last contest, I secretly did 2 complete tallies of votes. I did one group of voting that was just as normal. Each build you vote for gets one tally. Those tallies get measured and compared with everything else, and we're done. I then went back through, and some of you had posted who you picked as your first, your second, your third, your fourth, and your fifth. So I think this time we're going to kind of do the same thing, where I do a rank choice voting system. So your first choice gets 5 points, your second choice gets 4 points, your third choice gets 3 points, your fourth choice gets 2, and your last choice gets 1 point out of the top 5. What I noticed is that the first place winner still won first place. The second place winner still won first place, or still won second place, I should say. And then there was a little bit of mix-up after you get past like third and fourth. And then it started jumbling up a little bit. But I wondered if people had been given the choice to rank, if it would have been different. Now, if you do not give me a rank choice, if you just say these are my top 5 and you just list them all out, basically in numerical order, then I'm just going to give equal weight to each of those things. And it's not 1 point, it's 3. So I'll divide the total of 15 points that a normal ranked choice would, and I'd give it 3 points all the way across. So again, you don't have to change anything you've been doing if you don't want to. However, if you want to pick who you want to be number 1, you're welcome to do that. And then I will divvy up the points as explained. But we're going to switch things up again in this video, in this contest. We're going to actually do the Parseval section first. So everybody sit back with me, get comfortable, get your favorite snack, and sit down because we are about to go over some amazing builds with commentary. First up in the Parseval contest, we have Alex N. We have the Kuat Systems Engineering RX-1 Stiletto. Its nickname, the Heartbreaker. Kuat's next generation of Interceptor was to replace the RZ-1 and RZ-2 A-Wing. Without the need for a hyperdrive, Kuat was able to pack much more powerful sublight engines into the design, making the Stiletto 30% faster and considerably more nimble than the RZ-2 A-Wing. Equipped with 2 medium laser cannons and a proton torpedo launcher, it has just enough armament to be lethal against enemy starfighters. It got its nickname from entry-level pilots not being able to handle the G-forces experienced when piloting the Stiletto in atmosphere, and thus were deemed unfit to pilot one of these crafts in combat. So Alex did a fantastic job with this build. I love the backstory behind it. One theme that we're going to see throughout this whole contest, is modifications and adaptations of the A-Wing. In this particular case, we see something, I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil it, but the front forks of the A-Wing being cut deeper. So instead of just a little notch in the front of the A-Wing that we see before, we actually have this big cutout, and removing a lot of the calculations and the hyperdrives and stuff like that is a fantastic extra detail. In this case, I also really loved this little image here. I wanted to stay on this for a minute because you have the little fueling pod over here, and then you have the little connection to the ship, the fueling spot, the filler valve, if you will. I'm gonna have to research that little knob at the end because it's so simple. It's only like 4 pieces, but it looks so good. It looks so good. A brilliant piece of brilliant build technique right there, I've got to say. And then if you look underneath it, the shape of it, just that bent to it, is so unique and so alien. It totally works in Star Wars, in my opinion. The cockpit looks fantastic there. We see the pilot engaged right there. We can see that the filler valve on one side is not the same as the other side, which is cool. The shaping is fantastic. It looks like an A-wing shape that would be modified and adapted and made better for the New Republic. Congratulations, Alex. You did great here, and good luck. Our next entrant into the Parseval bracket of contests is our good friend, Mustafarian. Similar to how the Delta Jedi Starfighter, I'm going to get it right, I promise, influenced my design of the D-Class Mediator for the previous level of contest, the New Republic Fighter Contest, the ETA Jedi Interceptor influenced his design of the E-Class Arbiter, which is the name of this fantastic ship. E is actually a shortened abbreviation for the ETA Interceptor. Very similar to our good friend from episode 3. So that we can see where that design inspiration came from. E for ETA. While the Delta and D-Class starfighters had more of a peacekeeping role, the ETA and E-Class interceptors had, or have, a more aggressive combat-focused role. It's built for ship-to-ship combat with its forward weaponry and very thin silhouette. However, we're still talking about the New Republic, so the E-Class Arbiter's weaponry is largely tucked away and only visible from the underside. It will effectively eliminate threats, but does not need an overly aggressive design to do so. The citizens of the New Republic may not fully appreciate the heritage of both the D-Class Mediator and the E-Class Arbiter, but they can later learn the lore of the Jedi without the Empire censorship and come to recognize what these new starships represent. So, very fun idea to call back to the Jedi, even though most people wouldn't remember what the Jedi did or what they had. Here's a great image of all the weaponry being underneath the ship. So when you're looking at it from like a peacekeeping role, when people are looking from the side or from above, it looks very clean, very polished, and not a lot of guns poking out everywhere, which is pretty cool. I really love the design. I've always been a huge fan of the ETA-class Interceptor. The combination of the windscreen sections to give it that bubble look was very well done, and what a neat idea, I think. I think it worked out really well for you. I've used just the 4x4 dishes before. I haven't used a bubble and tried to turn that into a continuous canopy, but I think you may see something like that in my future. So, good job, Mustafarian. Good luck. And our last entry into the Parseval bracket of the contest is going to be by our friend Nathan S., who won in the last contest. So, let's see how Nathan matches up to our previous contestants. This ship is the O-class starfighter, or the O-wing interceptor. I'm sorry, the O-wing interceptor, and it is called the Haza class starfighter. I had to look it up real quick. Haza is the German word for hare, or in colloquial terms, rabbit in the United States. So the reason it's named that is because when it has the maintenance bays opened, it looks a little bit like a rabbit, and we'll see that in just a little bit. So the ship project started to help the New Republic with their fight against the Imperial remnants of the Empire. The New Republic needed a lot of starfighters to combat the Imperial remnants, and they needed it fast. The New Republic decided to make their own version of a TIE fighter, something small, fast, cheap, and something that could be mass-produced in a short amount of time. So, the New Republic started the O-Wing project, using all the materials available from all the Imperial shipyards they had taken over. This is the starfighter version of the Starhawk project. So, for those of you who know what the Starhawk project is, they basically took Star Destroyers that were in development or being built, kind of stripped out parts of them and put them together into a new ship called the Starhawk. So this is kind of the idea behind the O-Wing Interceptor. The New Republic even started a side project to create an army of droid pilots to pilot this thing because they didn't have enough pilots to fly all of the O-Wings they were making. I think that's a fun idea, to think that the New Republic made so many of these so fast they didn't have enough pilots, so they had to have them done by droids. This image is awesome. This shows you the rabbit configuration, or hare. I know there is a scientific difference, but to me, rabbits and hares, same family, right? So this is actually a fun little detail in this image that really made me like this one, is that the other two previous Parseval Contest entrants had the forks coming out in front of the ship and a big divot in the middle going towards the pilot. And Nathan did the same thing, just on a smaller scale. So the points are a lot closer than the other ones. But the divot is still there. And so you can see the inspiration behind it. I thought that was a really cool idea and a fun move for Nathan to throw in there. And here we see the droid pilot and the human pilot in the ship. It's so fun to think that they had droid pilots. And when I said you had to have a pilot, I didn't say that it had to be like a biological creature pilot. Everybody could have done droid pilots. I didn't even think about that. But congratulations, Nathan, for thinking outside the box on that. That was really cool. I love those kind of creative energies. And that's why I do this. I love seeing what you guys come up with. It's absolutely fantastic. And once again, Nathan, good job and good luck. And once again, I forgot to label any of these with letters or numbers so that you guys can vote for it properly. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go through all these first three entrants again. For the letter A, we have Alex. For the letter B, we have Mustafarian. And for the letter C, we have Nathan with his droid pilot. Now we can move on to the main series. I apologize. I will remember. Maybe. All right, so there we have our first Parseval bracket from letters A through C. I should have given them letters that had their first name or something on it. I didn't think about that till after the fact. Nonetheless, we are moving into the main category. This is going to take a while. I'm going to do my absolute best not to make mistakes, because this is going to take so long that I really don't want to have to do this more than once. If I mispronounce things, I'm just going to keep going. I'll try to correct it as I go. Please forgive me. Forgive me if I say something that is not smart. Forgive me if I say something that you think may dissuade people from voting for your mock. That's not my intention. I'm going to make mistakes. It's what it's going to be, which is why I stopped doing the commentary in the first place. But everybody wanted it. So if you want it, you're going to have to deal with the mistakes as well. Okay? Okay. You ready? Here we go. And first up, we have Andreas L. with the API-7 Swordfish. The API-7, it's an API-7, also called the Swordfish. The anti-piracy interceptor, built in the year 7 ABY, was a ship designed by the New Republic after the introduction of the PRI-6. Although being successful, the PRI-6 wasn't without its flaws. Those flaws mainly being its light armament. The API-7, also known as the Swordfish, set out to fix the issues of the Piranha. It did this with bigger engines and bigger guns. What more could a pilot wish for? The API-7 was the New Republic's best and only solution to the Imperial Remnant ties and pirate snub fighters in the Outer Rim. It's really fun to see the ties brought in. So as you can see in this picture right here, we have Andreas's entrance into the last contest. So this is kind of an updated version, which is pretty cool. Look at those engines. Holy cow. Big engines means fast. That's all I know. That's everything I've learned. So, we have a little bit of a graphic here. We have lowering wings folding down to reveal anti-ship missiles. Oh, cool. So the bottom wings actually come down to have concussion or proton torpedoes. Wow, that's really cool. Oh, see, I love how a lot of people still included some kind of a moving system in their ships. It's pretty awesome. Wow, Andreas, good job. Oh, I love how sleek it is. It's a fantastic ship. Great job, and good use of that bubble canopy from the Arc 170. I see what you're doing there. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's keep moving. Next up is Andrew. This ship is based on some art from ArtStation of a Nubian Interceptor, which he was inspired by as he was looking for something simpler. I'm going to stop changing the words to say they were looking for something, or he or she or whatever. I'm just going to use their words. Imagine I'm them reading it. As I was looking for something similar to a V-wing, but not quite. And this to me looks like if the silhouette of a Naboo starfighter, but flipped it around in terms of which side is forward. With the wings similar to a V-wing or a Jedi Interceptor, although for the landed position, I decided it would make more sense than the concept art if the wings folded inward for a more compact landing radius, since the New Republic would want to fit as many as possible in any given hangar bay. As well, he made it much smaller in size and added some anti-pursuit cannons. I'm a huge fan of those, and extra weapons as well as extra thrusters. So I think the ArtStation art he was talking about, the wings folded outwards for landing or something like that, but folding inward definitely makes more sense. I definitely get that. So this is the V-type Nubian Interceptor. I love this is funny because there's actually a lot of people who did some Nubian design. So this is pretty cool. This is the first of many. And wow, good job on the folding technique. So it not only folds in, but actually folds forward a little bit from the landing gear. That's a complicated mechanism to make work, but if you can get that, that's fantastic. I really like it. And in the words of that guy from Indiana Jones, I even like the color. It really does evoke that Nubian design. Fantastic job. Ooh, and the little spikes at the back too. Very good technique there. Ah, that's really good. I might have to steal that. Fantastic. Good job, Andrew. Let's move on. Awesome Bro Bricks and Cars. This is the D1V Interceptor. It was made as a prototype by Kuat Systems Engineering during the Empire, but after the fall of the Empire, went into full production for the New Republic. This is cool. It's got the cost is 147,500 credits. The length is 7.9 meters. Width is 3.8 meters. Height/depth is 2.47 meters. Maximum atmospheric speed is 1,800 kilometers per hour. Engine units, twin ion engine, so it's actually technically a TIE fighter, and sublight heptathrusters without hyperdrives. That's our goal. Shielding is the Serplex Z9 deflector shield projector for all those really big vehicle nerds who want to really dive into this. Sensor systems has close range sensors. Miradyne 4X Phantom short range sensor jammers for their countermeasures. Its armament is twin laser cannons, concussion missile launchers, concussion missiles, complement of 8 missiles and 2 launchers, 1 pilot, 40 kilograms of cargo capacity, 1 week of life support and consumables, and then the communications systems is fully equipped, and it is affiliated to the Alliance to Restore the Republic, the New Republic, and the Resistance. So, I know that piece on the side, I know I'm fascinated by the Lego pieces too. I'm a huge Lego Star Wars nerd. I think those pieces came from something specific, and suddenly my mind went blank. It could have been the Old Republic set, I'm not sure. Really good job on the sleekness going from the cockpit to the back end. I like the little fin at the back. The just big engine at the back of it really gives you that sense that this thing is designed for speed. This thing is designed to go super fast. Nice little cockpit inside there. Lots of extra controls. I always enjoy that, especially without an astromech. You need them. And yeah, just a really sleek, solid build. Reminds me of a combination of like an A-Wing and a Delta 7. Obviously, this one is very, I think, inspired by the Delta 7. But that is not a terrible thing. I love the Delta 7. It's a great ship. So, good job, Awesome Bro Bricks and Cars. You made an Awesome Bro starship. And coming up, let's get through these pictures again and go into our next submission from an entrant known as Blue. This is the Q80 Manta Ray. It's a Mon Calamari design and produced
Mon Calamari designed and produced Interceptor for the New Republic. The design for the manta ray is based off a creature that inhabits the oceans of Mon Cala. The design team of the Q-80's main goal was for the Q-80 to counter the TIE Interceptor, which is why it's loaded with 3 laser cannons and 4 proton torpedoes. The ship has light armor, light shields. It does not have a hyperdrive, but the ship also has 2 sublight engines. And though we haven't really seen them in combat, we will very soon. There we go. We've got our sublight engines on the bottom. Ooh, look at all those missiles and the triple cannons. Good job. I like the odd cannon choice. Instead of just doing 2 cannons, doing 3. It's like, ooh, they might not see that coming. And that'd be really fun to see in Star Wars as a triple cannon. This is another fun one where it puts it's got those front forks things that we talked about before. The split front forks. It's fantastic. It is not a unique design choice for this contest, but it is a fantastic design choice nonetheless, and I love it. The cockpit being clear at the front of it is a different idea, and I really like it. A lot of us want to put those cockpits clear at the back of the ship, or kind of mid-range. We don't often put them in the front, and that's, I think, to give it a little bit of alienness. Because all of the ships in our modern era have the cockpits and the pilots in the front, but that is not necessarily a bad thing to incorporate a real-world item into Star Wars, and I think it changes up the design a little bit and changes up some of the things we expect to see. So fantastic job. Good job to our friend Blue. Next up, we have Clara and Mike. This is a father-daughter duo, which is pretty cool. Their entry is called the Striker and replaced the I with the number 1. It has 2 rear-firing homing missiles, as well as 2 forward-firing missiles, 2 flat cannons, 2 ion cannons, and 2 laser cannons, so very lightly armed. The forward engine air intake folds forward, which allows the cockpit canopy to slide forward, allowing the pilot to get in and out. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you can see right. Oh, look. Oh, hey, it matched up with my pictures. I'm not good at planning that kind of thing. but it actually lined up. This is awesome. That's a really good technique. Wow, good job. Really good job. That's cool. That's hard to do. It's hard to make a sliding cockpit. I know. I did it on the new Naboo N1 Starfighter from Mando. It's not easy to do. Good job. The wings lay flat in standard flying mode, but fold down into 3 positions for attack mode, and the 2 smaller rear wings fold up during attack mode. Okay, well, it's got a lot of moving parts on it, but that's really cool. We can see a few of those different positions right here. That's really good. The engines have cooling vents that fold upward when overheating is detected. I think we might actually be looking at some of that right now. Wow, that's cool. The fighter is made for ship-to-ship combat, has no astromech, and no hyperdrive, as per the rules. This is a really cool ship, and we can get a really good view right there of the flaps open on the wings. The flaps open on the engines, I should say. The wings on the front with all the weapons being in attack mode, and then the rear wings being up in their position as well. Lots of moving parts on this thing. A very aggressive ship. This thing is designed to blow up other ships. That is for sure. Again, that sliding cockpit is really good. Ooh, lots of extra controls on here. Even some of them on some pivot bricks. Oh, that's neat. Ah, this looks cool. This is really fun. I hope you guys are going to have as much fun watching this video and going through these as I have. This is really neat. Okay, Clara and Mike, good job and good luck. Now we have Curtis J. And Curtis J, I want to apologize again. He had some problems getting his entry to me, so technically it was a little late, but he contacted me in advance saying, hey, I'm having trouble getting my email to you. And then I couldn't send an email back for some reason. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, that's not important right now. What is important is that the New Republic Interceptor, created by Curtis J, was supposed to be the face of a new era in starfighters for the galaxy. As it stepped away from the mass-produced boxy ships and went for a more smooth, crafted design representing elegance and peace. The NCI-01, the namesake of this ship, the Interceptor, was the first in a new line of starfighters being produced by the Incom Corporation, with a bomber and ground support version in their final design phases. Oh, we've got some more ships coming up maybe. That would be really cool. Armed with 2 laser cannons at the front of the ship and a launch tube between them filled with 10 concussion missiles. Whoa! That's pretty cool. That's a lot of concussion missiles. The main engine is a new model made by Incom based on a 4L4 thrust engine. More compact, it sacrificed its hyperdrive capabilities and speed. To make up for this, Incom had the idea to repurpose the hundreds of thousands of TIE engines from TIE fighters, twin ion engines, in Republic scrapyards. These ion engines were housed on either side of the main engine. Okay, let's see if we can get to that picture. Ooh, that's a beautiful, beautiful cockpit in there. So, ooh, we're going to definitely want to look through these. See if we can get a view of that back end. Ooh, okay. So these are TIE engines on the side around the big one. To allow the ship to reach speeds of up to 1,400 kilometers per hour and offers superb maneuverability, but comes at a costly price of 200,000 credits. Well, if you're buying something this nice and smooth, I can imagine why that'd be the case. As you guys have seen before, a lot of our ships in other instances were in the 100, 150, 170,000 price range. So this is definitely on the higher end, but ooh. The smooth techniques for the design is really good. I love the double windscreen. I actually have used before, and I really like it. I used it for a truck, so that's pretty fun. Looks like we've got possibly some cargo that can be stored in the back there. Maybe not. It might just be decoration, but it looks really good either way. We can see our landing gear underneath. We've got a triple landing gear going on. We've got our 2 big cannons up at the front. This is a really smooth, really slick ship. That is very impressive. And then this cockpit. Ooh. There's, you guys, we could all take some notes from this particular little cockpit here. This is pretty nice. I like the way it all fits together. It just looks like it was designed specifically for this space. Fantastic job. Good job, Curtis. All right. Next, on to our friend DSUM 10 for the A2 Star Dagger. The A2 Star Dagger, New Republic Interceptor, was most notably used by the New Republic. The A2 SD specializes in fast ship-to-ship combat with its BAK KX-7 laser cannons, also used on the U-Wing. Oh, that's awesome. The A2SD can go up to 1,300 kilometers per hour. We're getting a little bit slower, but that's still really fast. Like, as if these things are racing each other, right? I don't know how much you need to get over 1,000 kilometers per hour, but we're playing with it. We're figuring it out, right? The ship does lack a hyperdrive and shields. Ooh, it lacks shields. That's an interesting design choice. The ship would probably retail between 100 and 130,000 credits, so you can get 2 of these for the price of the other one, basing its price based off of like the TIE Fighter and X-Wing stuff. So it's a little bit cheaper, but you lose your shields. I don't know. That'd be a tough call between the two, because that's great. Of course, we're actually choosing between all of them. So there you go. But this one is really smooth, really nice as well. I bet we could bring the price down a little bit on that other one. I'm sure we could negotiate a good deal. This is a pretty cool ship. So it looks a little bit like the U-Wing. Makes sense why it has some of the same armaments as the U-Wing does. I like the sideways, the snotting building techniques that are used in it. It's really nice. Here we have a nice in-flight mode. The pictures that you guys are doing on these ships is so good. Like, you guys are really upping your picture taking game to really capture the details and the essence and the feeling. Like this one right here, I can almost picture in space, flying along, going after somebody, and just you can follow me behind with the camera. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's fantastic. All right, we get a great view. Fun little Fig Bash pilot right there. That's pretty awesome. The bubble canopy, the engines, little grills on the back, very reminiscent of the A-Wing. Very good job. And another fantastic cockpit. You guys are knocking it out of the park with your console and cockpit game, guys. That's not fair. You guys are getting too good at this. Maybe we should stop having contests. No, I'm just kidding. We've got another one coming up as soon as this one's over, guys. Okay. DSUM 10, congratulations and good luck. Next up, we have Durf N with their Nimbus 3. Inspired by the design of E.C. Henry's Nimbus 2. Those of you who follow me a lot, you know E.C. Henry, fantastic designer. You can go ahead and check out E.C. Henry's channel on YouTube. The Nimbus 3 takes technology from the TIE Fighter and X-Wing and combines them in an affordable, easy-to-service multi-role fighter. With dual blasters, proton torpedo launchers, and even pylons for bombs, this fighter is ideal for both new and old pilots and for use in security forces all over the galaxy. In addition, this design features a cockpit that opens from the bottom. Ooh. Wait, what? Oh, that's cool. Sorry, I've gone through most of these, but I haven't read each of them detailed. And a detachable fuselage that can ferry a pilot back to safety if the wing or engine sections are compromised. Okay, so I think, did we see that? Yeah, right here. We saw that disconnected cockpit right there. That's awesome. Okay, I gotta see if there's a good image of it opening from the bottom, because that would be really cool. I wonder if we got an image of that. Possibly not, but that's okay. Okay. The detachment part, I think I can't quite tell how it does it, but I guarantee you that definitely can open up from underneath. That is a really fun idea. It's just like on my TIE dagger and glaive, the javelin and the glaive. Both of those were it was fun to make those dropping mechanisms. Going with the TIE Fighter and X-Wing combination, that's a fantastic idea. Well, good job, Durf N. Very impressive. You got me with that opening from the bottom cockpit. That's pretty freaking sweet. All right. Good luck. Next up, we have Diopchick with the Sky Arrow 3 Interceptor. This particular one is called the White Nemesis. Now, what you might want to do is jump over to Diopchick's YouTube channel, and you can see a good video going over the different things. And I apologize. I wish I could have gotten more details out of your video because it was a fantastic video and I watched the entire thing because I loved seeing this ship. So the few things that I really enjoyed that were very different from other ships, we can see how the front of the point comes so much lower than the rest of the ship and then the wings are kind of up. This thing has a really cool profile and front on, what do you call that when it's the front on the end of the ship, the silhouette. So the profile and silhouette is really good. You can imagine this ship is just built for speed. And the really cool part is Diopchick not only, oh, look at that cockpit. What the heck? You guys aren't allowed to make these good at cockpits. Look how tight that is. Oh, that's really good. Oh, man. Ugh. You guys are frustrating me with how good you guys are getting at this. Not only did Diopchick make one ship, made 3 of them in 3 different color schemes. So the first one was called the White Nemesis. And I'm so sorry I could not get the names of the other 2. But fantastic work. I like the little droid guy, little droid helper here. Each one of them has a pilot inside. And using this particular windscreen is something that I hadn't thought of, and I totally forgot it existed when I was talking about curved and bubble pieces. A few people had actually messaged me and asked if these canopies were good to use. And I'm like, hey, it looks like a bubble to me. I'm totally fine with that. It may not be like the perfectly smooth curve, but let's be honest, there's not a huge amount of those available. I mean, there's a few, but coming up and using this one with some of the older bubble-ish windscreens is actually a really cool idea. And then in here, when you're putting them in backwards, it makes it even more fun. I'm a huge fan of the backwards windscreen. So congratulations to Diopchick. I hope everybody who has the opportunity can run over to your YouTube channel. It's Diapchick to go ahead and check out that video and get the really awesome views and hear all the wonderful things that he has to say about it, because unfortunately I am going deaf, I swear. All right, thank you so much, Diopchick, and let's go on to Draenor 2. This is Draenor 2's Mandel Motors Actis 3 Interceptor. He says, the ship I created is a Mandel Motors creation constructed based on the blueprints of the ETA-2 Actis class starfighter. It comes at a price of 95,000 credits. Look, we're getting into the more prices. We're going to be able to buy these things by the end of it, and prioritizes speed and agility over shielding and defense. To achieve this, the starfighter utilizes 3 thrusters connected to a central computer, which automatically adjusts their angle and power during maneuvers. However, manual control is also an option. The ship incorporates an enhanced gravity dampener system that enables sharp turns and maneuvers. Oh my gosh. I told you I was going to make mistakes, guys. Please forgive me for all my problems. Allowing for an extraordinary and unpredictable movements. The wings offer 2 modes. The Actus mode and the atmospheric or ATM mode. The Actus mode is ideal for supersonic speeds and space flight, boasting a minimal front profile. Alternatively, the wings can be switched to ATM mode or atmospheric mode. That's what we're seeing right here. Generating lift and conserving energy for other systems. There's a purpose behind this madness. Additionally, the wings employ hover technology primarily for takeoff and landing, but in atmospheric mode, they enable the craft to hover in place. So it can kind of just sit in one place and fire, like a lot of the ships we saw do in like the Mandalorian and stuff. As for the weaponry, the vehicle features 2 light laser cannons positioned at the cockpit's tip. We see those in this picture right there. Along with 2 heavy laser cannons mounted on the wings. In atmospheric mode, the heavy laser cannons become visible, assuming a shorter barrel configurations. The laser bolts originate from this modified position, where in Actus mode, they traverse a longer barrel and shoot out from the tips of the wings. What? Oh, that's cool. So the different weapons are usable at different positions. That's cool. What a fun idea. The craft is also outfitted with high-end jammers and advanced sensor and targeting systems for speedy encounters and deadly precision. Well, good job, Drainer 2. This is a very well-defined ship, very well thought out. The shape is really good, and if I'm not a sucker for the dark blue and white color scheme, it just looks so good. And fits the pilot right in there, nice and snug. The engines are great. It reminds me a little bit of the Trident Droid Starfighter. That's for sure. Good job. Good job, Drainer 2. Next up, we have Indigo V. Introducing the HC-09 Interceptor Starfighter. Designed by a team that included former Kuat Systems Engineering and Sinar Fleet Systems personnel, the ship's design takes inspiration from both Rebel Alliance and Galactic Empire starfighters. The main body is based on the A-Wing. A large cutout was made at the front to reduce the weight of the craft. Cutout! Everybody loves the cutout. It looks so cool. It's so aggressive and aerodynamic. It's not surprising. So many people, they have wings that come out to a point that are separated, like Diopchic, and they have all these other ships that just cut the notch out of the front. The A-Wing was hinting towards it. The New Republic one, the Resistance one, had a little bit deeper cut into it, and now we're just chopping the whole sucker out of it. This is freaking great. Like I said, not a unique design for this particular contest, but it's so good. Everybody who could use it and wanted to use it should use it. Because it's great. If that's what your design is, do not take my rambling as, maybe I shouldn't have done it because so many people did it. No, you should do it because it looks so good. It looks so good on your ships. You guys definitely incorporated it exactly where it should have been. Good job, everybody. The resulting prongs each have a laser cannon located on their tip. The cutout houses the main sensor suite and targeting systems, as well as an additional 2 medium ion cannons. During testing, it was discovered that sustained firing of the weapons could temporarily overload the sensors, leaving the ship essentially blind while the system reset. Wow, that's cool lore. That's cool deep lore. That's an interesting idea. To overcome this problem, a secondary sensor system was added to the horizontal beams at the aft section. Ooh, cool. Sorry, I'm reading a lot of this for the first time. It's cool. The underside of the main body has 4 missile hardpoints. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's lining up really well. These can be fitted with mission-specific ordnance, making it possible for the ship to go up against a wide range of vessels. The engine layout is taken from the X-Wing series of starfighters, though the engines themselves are actually ion drives, more commonly associated with the TIE line. The engines are housed in pods and attached to horizontal beams by articulating arms. This makes it possible for the engines to retract closer to the main body, reducing the space needed for storing the ship. Okay, so it continues on, and it's awesome.
But holy cow, I want to look at this thing. This is a really cool shape. I have always enjoyed this shape. Why have I always enjoyed this shape? This is really cool. The moving engines is fantastic. I wonder if Indigo was able to tie them together or if they move independently. They do move independently. That could lead to some really cool configurations of the ship. That's not bad. Oh my goodness. And they did the top and bottom snotting. Because you can see there's no studs on top and no anti-studs on bottom. So it's like a perfectly sandwiched build. Ooh, I wonder how they got that. That's a really cool idea. Bubble canopy, classic. The cutout, classic. And again, I'm going to say it. I even like the color. The orange and black is a really, really cool scheme. Poe Dameron's Black 1 X-Wing from episode 7 and 8 is just so beautiful. Such a cool ship. And the design is great. Well, congratulations, Indigo V. Very detailed report. Oh, I didn't notice this little thing down here. These little gaps down here. Ooh, little extra detail. I like it. You know what? I think this reminds me a little bit of a land speeder. In this position, you got the engines like Luke's land speeder off to the side, and then you've got the main body. Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons to like each one of these. I like that shape for some reason. It reminds me of something else. So this one is going to be a little out of alphabetical order because it is what it is. And I messed up on the person's name. So I apologize. This is Commander Flare, as they are seen in their various handles. This beautiful Interceptor was designed and engineered by the Nubian Star Drives and is known for its sleek design like most Nubian starships. We got some more Nubians, right? I told you there was going to be more. The engineers of Nubian Star Drives got a lot of reference and inspiration from many other interceptors and starfighters, like how the nose is similar to a V-wing and how the wings are similar to Jedi Interceptor. It also has engines slightly similar to an N1 Naboo starfighter because it has sleek points at the ends, and we'll see those in just a couple of images. This Interceptor was designed for the New Republic, and its purpose was to replace the A-Wing. So this is another beautiful build by Commander Flare. And I will actually have to do a little bit of apologizing on behalf of Commander Flare because I messed up a little bit, but I'll explain in a minute. I wanted to point out the little rods coming out of the back right there in a little callback to the Naboo starfighter, which is so fun. I love it. I love how many times we're referencing the Naboo in this entire contest. It's just really great. And then this one being a combination of like a V-wing front end with a Jedi Interceptor wing mechanism. It's beautiful. And it all ties together extremely well. I was very impressed with how this was put together. Now, some of you may be calling foul because of the first and last images that we have for Commander Flare here, because there's an astromech on the back. Why is there an astromech? We're not allowed to have astromechs. Well, that's my fault. When Commander Flare originally sent me these images, he had the astromech on there. And yep, I messaged him back and said, actually, we have a rule of no astromechs. And he said, oh, I thought the rule was we had to have one. So he took it off, sent me more pictures, and I seem to have mixed them up. He also changed the pilot to a Rhodian instead of just a human. So there's a change there. That's another reason why. So I apologize, Commander Flare. That's on me. This build is really cool. I really like how sleek it is, how smooth. And it reminds me of Commander Flare's ship from the previous contest, from the previous one, the New Republic Starfighter. A lot of similar techniques, but very, very different at the same time. It's such a beautiful design. I'm very impressed. It's so sleek. It looks so good. And you can just imagine this thing flying around with other ships in Star Wars. It works perfectly. The blue stripes are also really cool. I'm a sucker for stripes. My wife has always liked stripes on ships, and holy cow, if it's not just an amazing thing when you can incorporate stripes into a brick-built system. It just looks so good. So once again, I'll apologize for the astromech. That's on me. When I moved everything over, I must have mixed up the images. So I apologize, Commander Flare. That's on me, but good work and good luck.
All right, next up we have Jared H. This is the Stormbolt Interceptor. Now Jared here. Oh my goodness, I have not been giving numbers. I've gone this whole way and I have not been giving numbers, guys. Oh no. Oh, are we going to have to go back? Do we have to go back right now? Do we need to go back? Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I can't believe I did that. All right. I haven't been telling you the numbers. I hope you've been looking at the screen. I'm going to go through and I'm going to add numbers to every ship. So when you're looking at it, you can see the number. Oh, I apologize so much to everybody for doing that. We are so far in, though. I don't think I can go back and start now. I don't even know what number we'd be on, unfortunately. So, Jared H. Good job. This looks really good. So, I'm seeing some Delta 7 Interceptor vibes. We got some Greebles on here, which is classic Star Wars. Love that. But they're not super distracting either. You could almost say that this almost could have been like a civilian ship. Ooh, the back and forth design. The studless designs. Ooh, that's so good. Good job. Man, I'm wondering how people are getting these designs, because it's really hard for me to do. So when I see other people do it, I'm like, well, I want to know how you did it. Did you figure out a better way? The ship almost looks like it could have been like a civilian design, and then they added the weapons and stuff after the fact. Oh, that would be really cool. Oh, that'd be neat for the lore. So, okay, we got a giant engine on the back. We got some pylons out to the side. It reminds me of some other Star Wars ships, and for some reason, it's just not coming to mind. My brain is really blanking out in the minute. I apologize, guys. Here's a little bit closer detail. We get a little bit of hint of how he did the back and forth. We got some Technic in there. That's awesome. The Greebles are so good. Those paintbrushes are so neat. And the roller skates are just really good Greebles, guys. Got a giant engine on the back. If I was to look at this, I'd go, yeah, this is a fast ship. You know what? It gives me a little bit of a Ralph McQuarrie vibe. And I know they were trying to go back to that in the sequel trilogy. So the New Republic, Resistance, having those more Ralph McQuarrie-esque designs, very good design choice, Jared. Wow. Sorry, that was our last picture there. So good job, Jared. The orange and white, again, we're going back to those Poe Dameron Resistance era color schemes. We have the black and orange, then the orange and white. Really good, really cool color coordinations, color choices that we got from the sequel trilogy. More than I thought I would enjoy, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit, actually. All right, next up we have Jason H. with the Arrowhead. The armament has 4 laser cannons and 1 heavy turbo laser mounted in the nose. This is so powerful that the ship had to be fitted with the most powerful sublight engines available to counteract the fighter being slowed down when firing the turbo laser. Oh my goodness. Yeah, lots of engines on this sucker. That's for sure. Attached under the right wing is a targeting sensor array for fast acquisition of targets at higher speed. Oh, there's our turbo laser right at the front. Ooh, look at all those things. Oh man, I would not want to look down the front of that thing. You basically know you're done. I have another anecdote about that as well. It can target a tauntaun patty on the surface of Hoth from orbit faster than old Ben can amputate an arm. I like that. Good job, Jason. There is a variant, the AH-1T, capable of carrying proton torpedoes, but it does sacrifice additional speed and mobility. The ship is designed to get to targets, eliminate, and get out fast. So we can see those targeting arrays down underneath. Nice. Very good job targeting communications. Ooh, dang. That's nice. That's a really cool ship. I love the negative space. Anytime you have negative space, the notches in the front of the ship, the negative space in the back or in different areas of the ship, I just really like that. It's very cool, very engineering. I don't know. I'm making up all kinds of words right now. I love the use of the cockpit, or the I think this is an Indiana Jones windscreen, if I'm not mistaken. I always wanted that set. I never did get it. Hopefully they come out with a new one with all the new ships. So we got all the turbo laser mounting stuff underneath here. I think these are all inverted curved slopes. That's a lot of those. Whew. That would use more than I even have in my collection. I always think I have a lot more than I do, and that takes a lot. But that's dedication, and it looks great. Fantastic choice. There we get another nice front end shot of all those. Wow. So looking down the barrel of this, if you guys ever play Battlefront 2, I love playing the Starfighter Assault. And when I'm playing Starfighter Assault, all the time I want to play chicken with people and just and blast them. Unfortunately, I'm really bad at activating any of my abilities unless I'm the X-Wing. If I'm the X-Wing, because I know I just have more firepower, or the B-Wing, I know I have so much more power than the other person and survivability, so I can just hit them straight on and just take them out. But whenever I'm in like an Interceptor, I still think I can do that, and I can't. I usually just have to respawn when that happens. So congratulations, Jason H. This is a ship I would not want to come down the wrong end of an alley with. So good job and good luck. Next up, we have Jetty T, and this is the BO1 Interceptor. It has S-foils that rotate into a diagonal position for attack and increase maneuverability during battle. Flight position keeps them flat. It has 2 heavy and 2 regular laser cannons on both sides. Front of the ship is made from a stronger material to protect from incoming debris during high-speed travel and battle. Ooh, this is a ramming speed. Okay, here we go. Here is our flat configuration of those rear fins. This is great. And then nice side view. We've got 2 cannons on either side. This is great. I'm actually recognizing parts that you use, Jetty. I'm seeing them. The very front of your windscreen being used. Oh my goodness. I wonder how many times that has happened. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to shut that down there. StarCraft 2. I don't have a lot of games on my computer, but that's one of them. All right, Jetty, let's get back to this. So the front of your windscreen, I believe, is from the Captain Marvel Quinjet set. Oh, I wonder if these fins are from that too. I recognize the fins, but I don't know what they're from. Then we have some race speeder fins on here. This is great. And once again, using some great techniques. Holy cow, is that angled? Oh, man. Good job, Jetty. This is really good. This is really good techniques and totally hidden, too. You'd look at it, you think you know how it's built. But, man, if you tried to puzzle build this thing, you'd be ripping your hair out like I do in a lot of cases. We've got, do the whole engines move to put those in flat mode? They do. The whole engine compartments actually move out of position and into position for whatever the need is. Oh, that's really cool. Good job, Jetty. This is great. Very sleek, very slim profile, but it uses the Minox Squadron, those really big wedge pieces for, I think it's Minox 5 on the side of it. So it's very reminiscent of the A-Wing in that shaping. Wow. Jetty T, great job. And hey, this thing is a contender definitely for going into Minox Squadron. It's got that black and red color scheme that I love so very, very much. Fantastic job, Jetty. This is really great work. Very smooth, very sleek, great techniques, and a lot of hidden angles and stuff that really makes you wonder how you did it. Good job, Jetty. All right, next up, we have John W. This is the Delta 3 in atmosphere Interceptor. So the Delta, for the similar hull shape, as in very similar to the Delta 7, hence the name. The 3 is for 3 points when it's in atmosphere. So it has an atmospheric configuration, just like the other previous one we saw. It has open panels in the front and back from Minox Squadron. Another Minox Squadron inspiration. Moving wings from Palpatine Shuttle and New Republic Fighter. Microship from the Bomber. Oh, it has an extra little drone ship, maybe? Ooh, that's a cool idea. Possibly a droid of some kind. Repulsor relay. Wing angle varies to provide different amounts of lift and drag in atmosphere. Extra thrusters for in-atmosphere flight, as you would need for drag. Large ion drive for high speeds in space. 4 anti-starfighter guns mounted towards the front, arrowhead shape, and a hinged cockpit canopy. Okay, let's see if we can see this moving. Oh my goodness, look how far those things move. That is great. Oh man, that is so similar to the other atmospheric flyer. It's a very Ewing-esque kind of design. I really like that. I like the little engine in the bag. That's really cool, using an actual Lego engine piece for it. And if I'm not mistaken, oh my goodness, this has a mechanism to move the wings at the same time. You've got to be kidding me. Whoa, that is something I have never been able to do. That's not fair. We have another one where we're doing the studs going all the different directions. Ooh, this is really good. Really awesome techniques in here. My goodness, you spin that back thing and it rotates them. Oh my heck. How did you get them to move at the same time? Oh. This is not fair, John. It's not fair. You know how long I've been trying to do that? You know how long? Do you have any idea how long I've been trying to do that? Do you know how long? I bet there's a magic ratio in there somewhere because it looks so good. It works so well. That's not fair, John. Good job. Good job. You got me. You got me good. The little extra little droid reconnaissance guy is freaking sweet. You could even be used as a countermeasure in worst case scenarios. You can send that off there with your transponder signal and they chase that instead of you. Very good. This ship is fast. And not only that, but getting into atmosphere, this thing would be hard. It would be hard to fly something that wedge-shaped in an atmosphere because it really would just want to go straight all the time. So having the wings come out to add extra maneuverability, more control, really good idea. Again, John, I'm just going nuts. You have some really, really good techniques in here. It's a really fantastic job. I'm very impressed. Good job, John, and good luck. Next up, we are moving to Justin H. This is the New Republic Interceptor. Didn't dive deep on the lore on this one, so we're going to take it at its face value and see what we can see in the design. First off, do you guys see what I see? We see the front forks. We see that giant divot right there. That's so fantastic. Oh, I so love it. I love that design choice. It doesn't work on every ship, but from what we've seen so far, I think everybody's been nailing it. Some of them are wider than others. This one's super thin. It really gives you a dagger-like feeling. Ah, that's so cool. Right, very small, very thin work. Very good work there. I think we have 3 engines in the back built for speed. Very Mandalorian Starfighter inspired. I like that. Ooh. You know what? I think I saw this detail when he sent it in. Yes, this is the one. Look at this. Underside cockpit so that they can see underneath them. Not just up and around, but down as well. Such a cool idea. I don't know why I never think of this. I use it for like lander ships and all that kind of stuff, but I never think of doing it when it's like a starfighter. I never think of putting an underside windscreen. But Justin just nailed that idea. It's such a good idea. I'm going to have to reevaluate all my shipbuilding and go, well, can I include that on this ship? No. Can I include that on this ship? Usually the answer is no, because where's the pilot sit? But Justin made it work, and I love the concept. Now, another thing I'm seeing is it has a little bit of a spoiler on the back. Yeah, so we look at this. It's actually a little spoiler. There's a gap between the main fuselage and this little wing section here at the top middle. Let's see if we can. Yeah, you can kind of see it a little bit better there. The little wings at the back go almost to the engines. It may be intended that they're connected, and so I don't want to say that, oh, they go right up to it but not touch, because design-wise they could have meant to be connected by Justin. And that's so cool. I love extra spoilers. I love the extra gaps. It's something I can't quite get a grasp on design-wise when I'm building my own ships, but it works perfectly here. This is exactly the situation where you want to include that kind of a detail. The little tapering at the back going to the rear engine, the center engine is so cool. Those giant engines on the side. This thing is a speedster, and it's meant to destroy stuff. This is another one of those where you see it coming your way. You're like, uh-oh. And I think I see a third cannon right in the middle, right? Oh, yeah, this is the underside shot. So we have the 2 stud shooters
and then we have a larger cannon right in the middle. This thing, yeah, if you get going straight at it, you guarantee you're going to hit that large cannon underneath, and you will not be playing chicken anymore. You will be playing How Far Can I Float in Space, like Princess Leia. That's for sure. Congratulations, Justin. You did a fantastic job. Throwing that windscreen underneath just threw me off so good. I had to look through your pictures multiple times just to understand what the concept was behind it, and it was fantastic. Really good job. Next up, we are going to have Lego EXE. This is the Aerosprite 01A. It takes heavy inspiration from the Delta 7 Starfighter. It is shielded with 3 light shield projectors. So we've gone from 0 shields up to 3 shield projectors, and I think it's represented by our dish elements right on the top there. Has a top atmospheric speed of 1,800 kilometers per hour. Okay, definitely on the high end. We talked about other ships being built for speed. I think Lego EXE wanted that to be the #1 priority right there. 1,800 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest we've seen so far. That's pretty good. Its aerodynamic profile made it a favorite for in-atmosphere dogfights. Another atmospheric type fighter. Atmospheric, not necessarily atmospheric focused, but definitely useful very much in atmosphere. As for armament, it has twin light-repeating laser cannons on the front underside, as well as 2 proton torpedo pods. The standard model only has 2 torpedoes, but other variants can be configured with more. It has 7 hyper-ionized engines, which have thrust vectoring. Due to its extremely small size, it has a short range and can only carry enough oxygen for less than half a standard day. Ooh, that's interesting. That is extremely thin. Holy cow. Sorry, I'm clicking through these so you guys can see pictures and not get bored by me just talking. Holy cow, that is thin. It's only like a single brick thick. Wow, that's insane. Wow. That explains why it doesn't have a lot of oxygen and life support. As for the build, it was tricky to get something with such a slim profile to fit a minifigure. Yes, I imagine. Thank goodness for panel pieces. Yes. Do you call them panels or do you call them brackets? Because I see some brackets poking up there around the cockpit, but there could be some panels around there as well. It also has landing gear. Ooh, no way. Really? It has landing gear. Oh yeah, I think we saw some of it. Ooh, that underside is really cool. Got some flick missiles. Some spring-loaded shooters. That's what they are. That is really good. I love it when you can incorporate those. I know a lot of people don't like them, but man, they're still fun to play with, and it gives your vehicle some, extra features. I don't hate the spring-loaded shooters. I really don't. The flick fire missiles never worked great for me, but spring-loaded shooters are definitely a win. There we go. We can see a little bit of some of the front landing gear right there on that image of the side. Wow, it's so thin. Whoa, that's insane. You are flying a piece of plywood. I'm shocked that it does so well in atmosphere, because that thing would just, I don't know, it would just turn on a dime, I bet. You'd definitely need some extra gravity stuff to keep your pilot, conscious. And so maybe they sacrificed some of the life support for that. I imagine if it got in atmosphere, it'd probably be able to exchange the atmosphere a little bit and have a little bit more supplies, but in space you only got about half a day. That's understandable. That should be fine. You'd really only want to, I guess that'd be like 12 hours. You'd really only want to be out of the ship or out in space. You don't want to be in an 8-hour dogfight. That'd be a nightmare. I can't even play Battlefront 2 for 8 hours. I get like maybe an hour in, maybe an hour and a half, 3-4 battles, and I'm done. All right, next up we have Leon V. This is called the Aerosprite 01A. It takes heavy inspiration from the Delta 7 Starfighter and is shielded. I think we all are thinking it's more like the V19, right? Is a little bit more inspired by. It's shielded with. Oh wait, did I just? Oh my gosh, I think I messed up. I had the wrong details on this. Hold on. Okay, Leon, I got your actual notes pulled up. Apparently, I copy and pasted the wrong notes. My bad. So Leon says, "Here's my entry for the Interceptor Contest, a new version of the Republic V19 Torrent, the V20 Tide. It's slightly bigger, has upgraded cannons and engines. The bottom wing is more profiled with an engine moved back for better maneuverability. It is also designed to capture and finish off runways, so it has strong landing gear to land on a planet." In terms of the build, I used the landing gear mechanism and side engines from the old LEGO V19 Torrent set because it was my first Star Wars set I ever got. I wanted to keep some part of it. And I also think it's designed perfectly. I couldn't find a better way to make the pump support the bottom wing, but the side wings are separated from the gears in case I want to build a hyperdrive ring in the future. If you consider taking parts from official sets to be against the rules, you can at least include me as an honorable mention. So, this is where people are going to have a little problem. And and I bear some of the blame. Normally in the rules, I will say that it needs to be a unique ship. I did not say that this time. And that was actually a mistake on my part. We got a lot of ships that are very reminiscent of A-Wings, right? So when this one came in, I'm like, it looks just like the set. It looks exactly like the set. Well, as a matter of fact, the only things that Leon kept were the mechanisms for the rear wing to go up and down, and a couple of the individual parts. So I know some people may have some issues with it, that it's only a slightly modified version, but I will actually tell you that I went through every part of the V19 Lego set and the Leon's V20 here, and it's actually not a copy. Every time I would look at one piece on the V19 and then look at the V20 here, there was something different about it. So Leon actually did go through and redesigned it, but in order to keep the mechanism for that lower wing, he kind of had to keep the same proportions. But there's a lot of extra details on here. There's a lot of extra changes. I did a really good job, and then separated the wings from the bottom, which is something that the original had. And I think that's a pretty commendable thing, especially because he wants to be able to flip up that bottom wing so he can do a hyperdrive ring for it eventually, which is such a cool idea. And that would explain why Leon decided to go with the V19 Torrent, because it didn't have a hyperdrive already. So pretty cool. So the V20 Tide here, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, didn't I say that we couldn't reuse ships or modify ships? Oh, I didn't actually say that. And he actually went through and changed a lot more than I originally anticipated. I was going to go through and be like, okay, look, it looks exactly like the V19 Torrent Lego set. Did you do anything to it other than, making a little bit bigger engine on the bottom and changing the shape of the bottom wing and changing the shape of the regular wings and changing the laser cannons and changing the canopy in the cockpit and changing the... Okay, you changed a lot. That makes sense. And I believe that the engines are actually part of the structure for that lowering mechanism, if I read the instructions properly. So it actually makes sense. It actually worked really well. And I'm very impressed. And this is the only V19 inspired ship in the entire contest. So props to you, Leon, for looking a little bit outside the field and finding something new and unique to add to it. It's really good. Congratulations. And good luck. Next up, we have Magma Bricks. This Interceptor builds largely on the already well-known A-Wing. It features 2 large engines, which are an improvement from the A-Wing, so understandably produce more heat, which could be a hazard. So there's 2 radiator grills behind the cockpit to displace it. So if we look right here, oh wow, look at all those radiator grills. That's freaking awesome. Due to the New Republic's demilitarization campaign, the ship features 4 pretty light lasers in order to correspond with guidelines. However, engineering generals designed them so they could all simultaneously be fired at an immense rate, overwhelming and piercing any shields the enemy may have and tearing through the hull. The enemy themselves were only usually pirates, bandits, or the odd TIE fighter, which had limited or even no shields due to the downgraded and so these downgraded weapons proved just fine. As a result of the immense fire rate, the weapons would be prone to overheating, so the main function of the wing was to simply act as a large surface for heat dissipation. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I like that. And I love the sideways building technique, by the way. Again, as always. I don't know the science of the stuff, so I'm pretending this is how it works. Magma Brick says. Yes, in Star Wars, apparently there are a lot more particles of air and things like that. So cooling does work better. That's why X-Wing S-foils split apart as well, is apparently to help cool the ship. But it can't be using any kind of a physical cooling that we're used to. We blow air over something that's hot to cool it down. That's what radiators are. In Star Wars and in space, there isn't air that can take that heat away. So it doesn't really make sense. But according to Star Wars, yes, that actually does make sense in the lore. In turn, the ship actually performed quite well in atmosphere due to its sleek nature and lift provided by the wings, and has high maneuverability, making up for the lack of shields. Ooh, another one without shields. And wings, little by little, saving the military's limited resources as it was able to glide and conserve fuel on planetary patrols that occurred so frequently now that they basically had to govern the galaxy. Now, this is a fun image. And at first I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait a minute, is this ship even real? And it is. So what Magma Bricks 774 did with their Pirate Hunter Interceptor here is to actually just remove backgrounds and add a little bit of digital stuff. It's fine. And then we got some really good pictures of what the rest of the ship looks like. And then obviously this is 100% real. So I'm not, it only lasted for a couple seconds. I'm like, wait a minute, is this even an actual in real life built ship? And it is. So we have this cool sliding, obviously not in Lego sliding, but this forward sliding cockpit in the design. The double vertical engines on the back, it's a really cool design that's not often used. We only see it occasionally in Star Wars. I used it on my YT-985 freighter. I used like rounded vertical engines, which I thought was really fun. So I'm a sucker for the vertical engines. You always get me with that. Congratulations, Magma Brick. You found another one of my weaknesses is for vertical engines. So very good job. Thank you and good luck. Next up, we have Mirza V with the Talon Streak B1. The Talon Streak B1 is the brainchild of the renowned engineers at Slane and Corporal, the same masterminds behind the production of the legendary B-Wing. Utilizing their extensive knowledge of B-Wing construction, Slane and Corporal repurposed the cockpit modules from retired B-Wing starfighters to form the core of the Talon Streak. Ooh, cool. This ingenious approach not only provides a sense of familiarity and comfort to pilots familiar with the B-Wing, excellent visibility and intuitive control within the cockpit, but also ensures the ease of maintenance and availability of replacement parts. See, that's always a big thing. It's always important. In a departure from its predecessor, this New Republic Interceptor has been designed specifically for short-range engagements, resulting in the removal of the hyperdrive from the B-Wing cockpit modules. Yep, that's correct. By eliminating this component, Slane and Corporal's engineers were able to enhance the starfighter's performance in terms of speed, maneuverability, and overall agility. The absence of a hyperdrive allows the Interceptor to focus on quick, decisive strikes and agile dogfights, compensating for the craft's minimal shielding. Equipped with 2 laser cannons, the Interceptor packs a powerful punch. These cannons, expertly calibrated by Slane and Corporal, deliver exceptional accuracy and devastating fire power. The most striking feature of the Talon Streak B1 is its distinctive wing design, reminiscent of a diving falcon. I wonder where that... Oh, dang it. Another one of these awesome cockpits? That's not fair. I'm going to have to up my cockpit game. Dang it. All right. Well, anyway, let's go back to the awesome description after I'm done reveling in my inadequacies. The engineers expertly crafted the starfighter's wings, giving them an elegant and sleek appearance. The wing's distinctive shape not only adds to the starfighter's visual appeal, but also plays a vital role in its exceptional maneuverability. The unusual shape of the wings allows for precise control during evasive maneuvers and enables the Talon Streak to execute swift turns with minimal resistance. With its repurposed V-wing cockpit modules, stripped-down hyperdrive, powerful laser cannons, and unique diving hawk-inspired wings, this starfighter embodies the spirit of innovation and determination that has come to define the New Republic's ongoing battle for peace and justice in the galaxy. Wow! Very well written. That was really cool. I know it was pretty fun to read. I was wondering a little bit about the shape of the wings, but now that I look at it, because it looks to me like a TIE Interceptor or something, or what is the atmospheric TIE fighter? The TIE Striker? It reminds me of the TIE Striker. You think the cockpit and the engine should be flipped. And in all actuality, you probably could flip them. Like just take the wings off and put them back on in the different position. It probably wouldn't be too hard to do on the ship. So you know it was a deliberate choice. Those two cannons look huge next to that. But holy cow, like thinking of it as a diving falcon actually makes it better this way. You tricked me. You tricked me into loving what I would consider a backwards ship. And not only that, but it gave us a really cool idea that the point of the ship be backwards instead of forwards, which is another really cool design that I wouldn't have thought of. Because it's something that I always lean away from just because of what George Lucas would talk about. And he would say, oh, when I look at a ship in 3 seconds, I want to be able to know which direction it's going and how it works. And in this one, it takes you the full 3 seconds, but you get it. And it works. And then picturing it as a diving bird, I'm sold. I'm totally sold. Why don't I do this more often? See, this is why I do this for real, is because I get ideas later. Oh man, I could totally just quit my YouTube channel right now and just start building my own versions of every one of the ships that have been in all the different contests and basically have content for the rest of, my life. But that's not what we're doing here today. Okay, well, next up we have Quentin L. And this is the VLQS-1 Honey Badger, created by Kuat Systems Engineering. It's 11 meters long, 60,000 credits, so this sucker is cheap. And 2 ion engines, so we're going with that ion engine thing again. That's very smart, Honey Badger. Its speed, its finesse, and its small size make it difficult to be detected and to be caught. It has access to a hyperdrive ring for reconnaissance missions in case of only one unit being needed on the mission. The ship is equipped with light shield generator on all 4 wings. Ooh, shield generators are on all 4 wings. I'm guessing it could be the shield on the wings right there. For his weapon, he's equipped with 2 light laser cannons at the front and can be equipped with different types of weapons. On this model, an ion cannon was equipped to prepare ambushes. You can intervene first, then be assisted by more heavily armed ships. So that's cool. So I'm thinking that the wing cannons that we see here are the extra weapons, the ion cannons that were added. The front cannons look really good. The landing gear is gorgeous. I wonder if those just detach or if they actually go up in. Maybe we'll get a picture of it. But I had to give it a moment because what cockpit is that? My goodness, I don't know what that is. That's really cool. Is that a custom painted cockpit or something? Oh, that'd be so neat. I didn't say there was no modification of parts allowed. I may have to include that in my list of standard rules in the future. Whoopsies. That's a really cool cockpit, though. I don't know where that's from. And I've actually been holding on this image because the next images are going to kind of break the rules. Yeah, he actually built the hyperdrive ring for the ship. Oh, how cool is that, right? I didn't ask you to do that. And it's not part of the rules. But hey, there's a couple extra notches in my book, a couple extra points for actually going to the work to build a hyperdrive ring. So the ship itself still qualifies because it doesn't have a hyperdrive. But I think it was cool as a little accessory to show that you actually built a hyperdrive ring for it. That's pretty neat. And here we have a nice rear view. Very V19 Torrent-esque. Love it. The V19 Torrent. No, sorry, V19. Oh my gosh, the V-Wing. Sorry. It is true the V19 Torrent does not inspire a lot of things. The V-Wing also does not inspire a lot of things, but is one of my brother-in-law's favorite ships. the V-Wing Starfighter. Absolutely loved it. Loved the fact that it had that tie sound from the twin ion engines. Just a really, really good build. Congratulations, Quentin. All right, now next up we have Quentin. Quentin C. Now, Quentin, for those of you who don't know, is the designer of Minoc 5. And his ship was the inspiration for starting the contest for Minoc Squadron. So thank you very much, Quentin. Quentin, awesome job. I really appreciate all your work. So this particular ship by Quentin is the Kuat Systems Engineering. So actually, this is not a Parseval Contest. I'm going to jump in here again. It's not a Parseval Contest winner because I specifically selected his ship to be part of Minoc Squadron. So not a returning winner, but a name that you know well. Sorry. This is the Kuat Systems Engineering NABLA class Interceptor, taking inspiration from the Delta 7 7B designs and marrying those lines and aesthetics with their A-Wing sensibilities. The designers arrived at the NABLA class. The ship includes 2 laser cannons and concussion missiles, as well as the A-Wing's signature Event Horizon sublight engines from Novel Decks. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. In terms of the build, I have my usual studs on the side and studs upside down features. I also include some slight angles in a few places with hinges. The ship features retractable landing gear and spring-loaded shooters on the bottom. Also, it has plenty of storage behind the seat, which folds down. The cockpit features printed control panels and gauges and a couple of trans-blue cheese slopes for additional displays and dual flight sticks. Oh man, I don't have a picture of the cockpit. Oh, there we go. We get a little bit right there. The cockpit game is just out of control, you guys. You guys gotta keep that up because it really is inspiring. Oh, Quentin, this ship is really cool. Your minimalistic color choices and your availability of parts in those colors is always very cool, and was one of the main reasons why I selected the A-Wing for Minoc Squadron. This is a really good looking ship. Really good techniques, a lot of snot techniques, obviously, as you mentioned before, the studs on top, studs on side, and studs on bottom approach, but all being very, very smooth. It's brilliant techniques. And I like it all just works really good. I didn't know they were they were called Event Horizon engines. That's pretty cool. The green stripe down the side, Once again, Quentin, giving inspiration to tons of builders everywhere. Great job. And we'll move on into, I would have liked to see the dual flight sticks. Maybe Quentin can send me some images. Let's move on to our next one. Here we have a returning entrant into the TJ the Brickwright Contest. This is man, I always butcher your name. It's Rihards? Rihards? I think I always used to pronounce it Rihards, and I apologize. But this, I do know how to pronounce the name of the ship. This is the UX-9 Air Cobra. So, this awesome ship is really... I just noticed this detail. On the wings going out to the engines, those are minifigure hands. They're minifigure hands going out to the edges. That's so brilliant. I don't think I've seen that before. I vaguely remember seeing it, but I don't think I've even seen it used in this way. It's really cool. Let's read what Rihards has to say, or Rihards. Oh man, I'm never going to get your name right. Since most of the original trilogy spaceships designs are more or less based on real-world World War II combat vehicles, this one is based on the P-38 Air Cobra. Cool. With the body squished at a few places, some angles added, and the design overall adapted to the Star Wars universe, of course. For example, having an intake on the front instead of a propeller. Oh, that looks good. Are those firemen hoses? They're firemen breathing apparatuses. Wow. And the connection between all those plates. Ooh. That is not easy to do. I'm working on something like that right now. It is not easy. Okay, here we go. Here's the front of it. Having an intake instead of the propeller, I ended up with a particular
particularly athletic-looking Interceptor, well-suited for in-atmosphere combat with its aerodynamic hull reminiscent of the raindrop shape, the most aerodynamic shape in nature. Many intakes for cooling the engines, weapons, and letting the air escape at particular areas to achieve truly impressive airflow, whilst also having air brakes at the front of the ship, allowing for, yet again, superior maneuverability. But in space, opening the flaps can be a quick and effective means of cooling the ship's mechanics/interworkings. We've talked about this. With all of its weapons resources being concentrated on the 2 rapid-fire laser cannons, complemented by just 8 concussion missiles. I think that's a lot. The New Republic found itself with a light, yet extremely deadly, light interceptor called the UX-9 Air Cobra, should the occasion arise. All right, so here, this front picture is really good. It has the air brakes in there as well. We got some outside shots, which I always enjoy. It's fun seeing Lego out in the real world sometimes. Man, those angles are just insane. Getting all those things to fit next to each other with very minimal seams. Ugh, I don't even know how you do it. Oh, here's another one of those scary shots, right? You see that coming at you? You can be pretty sure I don't know if I'm going to hit this guy because it has such a really thin profile, really thin silhouette. Yeah, another one you wouldn't want to see staring straight at you. I would almost think that the front intakes were some sort of a laser cannon or something, but they're not. They're not. The laser cannons are right next to them. So this would be a really good ship for, like the A-Wing, for really taking out ships visually instead of having to use a lot of targeting computers. The closer those cannons are to the cockpit and the more directly in front of the pilot they are, the easier it is to aim them without computer assistance. So, again, I really just like getting into the outdoors. You can just picture this thing taking off from a resistance base. Oh man, those little downward thrust things on the engines looks like they might be a type of landing gear. They might fit down that far. Oh, that's really cool. The air brakes are fun. I always like when you include some moving flaps and stuff like that. We get a good image of the underside. How did this thing all go together? I don't even understand the ship, let alone how to build it. That's freaking amazing. Well, good job, my friend. The UX-9 Air Cobra for your consideration. Good luck, my friend. Next up, we have Samuel M. with his Z349 Interceptor. This is a Z349 Headhunter developed late in the Clone Wars. This is a prototype starfighter. A huge success, but apparently Samuel says that only one was ever created. On a mission to rescue clone medic Kix, the pilot was stranded on a moon with no food and water. After the Battle of Endor, rebel troopers stumbled upon this fighter hidden in the woods, and it became the number 1 light fighter in the New Republic. Ah, I see what you're saying. Developed late in the Clone Wars, only one was made, but they were later put into production when some Endor rebel troopers stumbled across it, hidden in the woods. Very cool. We can see some repulsor lift equipment underneath, which, as you guys know, I'm very excited about. We kind of defined what a repulsor lift was here in my Lego room on my YouTube channel. We kind of figured that out. Ooh, wow, that pilot's sitting down inside there. That's really good. It's always good to have your pilot be able to be as protected as possible in the ship. Man, the snotting techniques on these builds are just really good looking. Here we go. We've got those 2 cannons at the front again. Once again, making it a lot easier for the pilot to fire from those cannons. Then we have the side cannons that can be used a little bit harder to do visually, but if you have computer assist, it's not a problem at all. Good shape, very reminiscent of the Headhunter, the Z. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten the name of the Z something Headhunter. I've got too many numbers going through my head right now is the problem. It's got the triple engines, which is always fantastic, good for speed and maneuverability. Overall, it's just a really good ship. Congratulations, Samuel. That was a really good one. Dang. So smooth as well. The rounded front end with the slopes on the side, the tiles. Just a really, really well-designed build. Good color combo, too, if I may say so. That red and black coming back to haunt everybody, right? Monarch Squadron strikes again. I'm sure that wasn't the inspiration for it, but man, I do love my red and black. It looks good on a ship. Okay. Congratulations, Samuel. Good luck. Next up, we have Scuba Steve with his Twin Gun Interceptor Tri-Engine Project. So the TIT project. So Scuba Steve, more affectionately known by its test pilots of the Green Squadron as the Trident, built in similar fashion as the Eurofighter. Many companies build specialized sections, then ship across the galaxy to be assembled. The TIT project is primarily armed with 2 planetary defense autocannons, which are fired simultaneously as to not induce yaw. So the cannons are powerful enough, like we talked about with that turbo laser ship, that had to have a stronger engine to keep it from stalling out. This one has a very similar thing. So to make sure that it doesn't twist the ship every time it fires, both of them fire at the same time. They can only be fired in short bursts while in atmosphere to prevent stalling. Ooh, wow. That's powerful. They are fed in advance by an advanced mini reactor visible from below. I hope we'll get an image of that, which also powers the hyperdrive, guided by its targeting computer in the nose, giving the Trident a bit of a duckbill, with additional targeting nodes on each wing. Other armaments include rear-facing proton torpedoes to allow engagement of enemies after passing head-on or being pursued. A rear-facing torpedo launcher. You know, oh my goodness, how did I not see that? Oh, here we go. Here's that the good image of that mini reactor. How have I never done that? I think it's the K-19? No. U-571. They have a rear torpedo launcher. And they launch the torpedo and take somebody out with it who's pursuing them. It's such a brilliant idea. Why have I never thought of putting a rear... I've put rear anti-pursuit cannons on all the time, all day long, but never a missile launcher or torpedo launcher. I'm going to have to work on that. I got to get better. I got to get much better. So, sorry, we'll continue this on. I totally got lost there. Powered by 3 of the most powerful and highly tuned racing engines, as 2 wasn't enough, to keep forward momentum long enough not to stall when firing the synchronized autocannons in atmosphere. Powered further by ram ion injection into the 3rd stage. Whoa, we are getting hyper technical on this. The 3rd stage of combustion, greatly enhancing the reinforced 3rd to 5th combustion stages and the afterburner. Equipped with the Class 0.6 hyperdrive, it can be anywhere on time, making the Trident faster. Oh no! Okay, well, we're going to ignore the hyperdrive thing. The swept forward wings... Okay. The swept forward wings offered unmatched agility at any speed, requiring multiple inertia dampeners in the cockpit. The wings swing forward for landings, reducing the space needed to land and the space needed to store the Trident. All right, so Scuba Steve, great job. I do like how the wings actually tie together at different angles using those hinge pieces. That's really fun. And then they fold up when you come in for landing. It's a really good, really aggressive look to the ship. And then just looking underneath here at all of the ways that you were able to make those angles work with all of the ball joints and the mixel joints in there. Mixel joints are awesome, but man, it's a learning curve to figure them out for sure. And Scuba Steve seems to have figured it out in spades. Those triple engines definitely make it super fast, and it even has a little, I like the duckbill look, but it gives me a little bit of Bad Batch vibes too, which is not a bad thing for me. I really like the Bad Batch's shuttle. Here we have a nice image of him getting in the cockpit, landed, windscreen up. Really, really good techniques. And once again, a really smooth ship. This is really well done. Congratulations, Scuba Steve. Good luck. All right, now we have a builder known as Secret Asian Man. This is the FT-1 Saber. The Forward Technical Interceptor Saber, properly referred to as the Fight Saber. The FTI, kind of shrink it down to Fight Saber. I like that. The FTI Saber Interceptor was a prototype interceptor adopted by the Rebellion due to its high-speed maneuverability. Its modular adaptability to support a wide array of armament, speed, and maneuverability makes up for its lack of armor and shields. The FTI Saber has 4 heavy-mounted disruptor cannons.
These are supplemented by a Rangemaster Advanced Targeting Computer, an AI-powered targeting computer that analyzes flight patterns and can estimate the flight patterns of enemy fighters for targeting purposes at a 79% degree of accuracy. It also comes standard with forward-mounted proton torpedoes. The adopted model of the Rebel Alliance has 3 ship-to-ship Xeon missiles with an EMG system, which is an emission guidance system. Missiles equipped with this system track the emissions of targeted fighters. So it tracks their chemtrails. It tracks like their ion trails with their fighting. Oh, that's really fun. This looks really cool. This would be a really fun ship to fly. That's for sure. All right. It also has a fast missile rack with a direct fire pulse jackhammer rockets and cherry blossom rockets with wide area damage. Optional armaments include a battle pod, which features an array of configurable armaments, including beam weapons, missiles, and rockets. There's also an option to attach a computer-powered point defense ion blaster turret on either side, or both sides of the ship, mounted on each wing. The FTI Saber also has a multi-wave ECM jammer to aid in evasion and advanced damage control systems due to the lack of an astromech droid. That's pretty awesome. Oh, look at that underside. Oh, very cool. Look at all those attachments. That is awesome. That must have been what they were talking about with all the different attachments you can stick on there. Woo! For greater maneuverability, it has 2 forward articulating flaps that allow it to make evasive maneuvers at high speeds. The rear fin rotates downward for landing and becomes its rear landing support. Forward landing gear fold down from under the front wings. The cockpit opens up fully for one pilot to be seated comfortably with an array of controls. Mounted directly in front of the cockpit is the Rangemaster Advanced Targeting Computer. Okay, so I did see the wings on the front. We see those from underneath as well. That helps with its maneuverability. There's a lot of asymmetry going on, and man, I love asymmetry. That is so fun. Okay, so this right here, this big bulge right in front of the cockpit, is the targeting computer. Wow. Ah, it's so distinctive. That's really good. Because you look at it and you go, well, what is that? It's a targeting computer. Like, ooh. That just makes me go, oh man, I wish I had put something that was obviously like a large attachment thing on the front of one of my ships. That'd be cool. Oh man, that giant targeting computer in the front. Ah, what a good idea. Good job, my friend, Secret Asian Man. That is really cool. Funny name, by the way. That's really cool too. All right, thank you very much, and once again, good luck. Next up, we have a 6.6 Smith with the RZ-7 Dagger. A little about the Dagger, which got its name because of its sharp front end and wings. This model was designed by the New Republic to have a higher top speed and more firepower than the previous A-Wings. Although maneuverability was not quite as good as the A-Wings because of the wider wings and heavier blasters on the wing ends, what makes this ship faster is the more sleek design of the front of the ship, as well as a newly designed turbo intake on the bottom. The single engine design works great with the turbo intake to give it all the speed it needs, and the engine being built into the rear of the ship also makes it less susceptible to taking enemy fire. The yellow lights in the brown crate are removable floodlights, which can be used for recon/search and rescue missions, and there are also some tools in the storage compartment. Lastly, the blasters built into the nose are used as the primary weapon system, and the heavy blasters on the wings are used more for finishing off an opponent when they are slow and weak. So that's interesting. Huh. I don't know if I have heard that before. They use the smaller cannons to maybe overwhelm the shields, and then the larger cannons, once the shields have been completely overwhelmed, then you just take them out. That'd be awesome. I think it's funny that this ship, the back end of it, it almost looks like you could have sat an astromech in there. But no, it's a cargo pod. It's a cargo pod, which totally works. I'm totally fine with that. That's not a problem at all. But when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, shouldn't there be an astromech back there? Oh, that's right. It's a cargo container. And no astromechs. No astromechs in this. This is a really, really well done ship. And once again, we're seeing these techniques. Studs on top, studs on bottom. Fantastic techniques from everybody. People are just knocking these builds out of the park. I think this is our best batch of builds that we've ever had. And not that we've had bad batches in the past. we've had really good entries in all of our contests. And I think everybody's just getting that much better as time goes on, which I hope is partially inspired by me. I hope I'm giving people inspiration, or at least getting the seeds of inspiration planted, so that when people are going through it, they go, hey, I really got inspired by doing this contest. I hope that's the case. I really do. Okay, so I do have some good news for everybody. We are only 3 entries from the end. So this is great. We are getting really close. Congratulations, 66 Smith. You built an awesome ship. Good luck on the contest. All right, for our third to last entry, this is Soleo P. This is the swordfish. Behind some of the design elements, when I imagined a ship-to-ship fighter interceptor, I always thought the smaller the ship, the better. So that's why I went with a 3-stud wide base, as that's the smallest I could get it reasonably. I'm calling it the swordfish because of how compact it is. It has 2 medium laser cannons on each side of the ship and 1 light laser cannon on the belly of the ship. Wow, a lot of these pictures are lining up so well lately. I apologize for my itching. I have a sunburn and bug bites today. So if you've heard me scratching, I really apologize. I just noticed how loud it was on this last one. Sorry. Okay. 1 light laser cannon on the belly of the ship. It has 2 engines. I don't know what I'd call them. I tried to keep the colors somewhat consistent with their pattern, as most of the parts came from my 2017 or 2018 A-Wing. Oh, cool. This is awesome. This is the epitome of a small and compact fighter. This is one of those things where you would want like 20 or 30 of these things to come out of a ship and just absolutely overwhelm the enemy forces. It is a little bit of Imperial doctrine in that regards, but at the same time, I mean, it worked really well for them. Why should we try to reinvent the wheel just because they were bad guys? That was one part that really bugged me. In, I think it's Andor. No, it's not Andor. It was Mandalorian, Season 3. The Book of Dr. Pershing episode. They would get rid of Imperial stuff just because it was Imperial. I know we tended to do that after World War II, like with the bad guys in that conflict. I don't know if I can even say their name on YouTube without getting some kind of a strike. But it's historical, okay? So anyway, I think even then, I think that's what we did. I think we just got rid of stuff that belonged to the bad guys in World War II, just because they belonged to the bad guys, or the bad guys made them, even if it was good stuff. Now, in other cases, we had like Operation Paperclip, where we brought those scientists in to help us after the fact. But for the most part, I think we really got rid of a lot of useful stuff just because it was that. And the Book of Dr. Pershing definitely showed that, and how silly it is. Like, we're just getting rid of this. Why? Well, because it was Imperial. Yeah, but it's still good, right? It's still good tech. Yeah, but it's Imperial tech. It's like, well, there's no such thing as Imperial tech. There's no bad technology. There's only technology that was used for bad. Right? Right? I might be wrong there. So, all that to justify the fact that you would want a billion of these little suckers protecting a planet, because they're super hard to hit, they're super fast, may be hard to coordinate flying. You might have some collisions unless you were very practiced and very well organized, which I imagine the New Republic would be. But that's why I would justify using any kind of Imperial doctrine like a Swarm doctrine. So, and the dual yoke joysticks. Hey, look at that. Dual yoke joysticks. Very good. All right. Next up is Soren S. This is the S-23 M-Wing Interceptor. After the fall of the Empire, an unprecedented spike in piracy left the galaxy a dangerous place. To counter this, the New Republic needed to develop a nimble interceptor capable of going head-on with any snub fighter or gunship. Quarry accomplished this by taking heavy inspiration from Mandalorian designs, of which he had named his creation after, the M-Wing. Because of how poorly the A-Wing performed as an escort, Quarry, apparently the designer of this ship, which is cool, specifically designed the Interceptor to fit on a standardized docking port, thus allowing it to interface with numerous civilian freighters. Oh, so this is something
that the New Republic could like farm out to other people as like a, hey, this is your escort. Oh, that's really cool. In addition to matching the speed of a freighter, its fuel efficiency is unparalleled in comparison to the A-Wing. While the base design was a lethal fighter, many crews chose to alter it, adding medium ion cannons. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, those landing gear are gorgeous. I'm going to have to look at this again after you guys get to see it. Many crews chose to alter it, adding medium ion cannons, giving it non-lethal option for countering enemies. Special thanks. Soren gives special thanks to his local Bricks and Minifigs who were generous enough to let me dock it with their Falcon. Ooh, is that a UCS Falcon then? Okay, so here it is. So apparently Soren got to go to his local Bricks and Minifigs and put his ship up next to the Falcon to show it as a little docking clamp. So it wouldn't work like a docking ring like we normally think, would it? Hold on, I got to read this through again. Fit on a center's docking port. Okay, it's a question. It's a question. No, it doesn't. I think that's a third engine, but it can dock with another ship, which is cool. Another thing I don't know if you noticed and wasn't really mentioned is the pilot is laying down, which is really cool. I mean, I would fall asleep if I was docked to the Millennium Falcon and we were traveling through hyperspace. I'd probably just fall asleep. But this is really cool because it works as an escort fighter. If whatever you're escorting, any civilian ships that need an escort, you can just go to the docking ring and clamp on, and then your pilot's there. It's ready to go. They can rest while you're going through hyperspace. And then when they arrive, they can detach and fly around and make sure that they're doing a good escort duty. I imagine there might be a little bit of a headache going along with that. If logistic-wise, you also have to have somebody who can bring him back when he's done with the escort, if it's a one-way escort kind of thing. I also love the fact that the ship rotates around the central body. That is so cool. It may not rotate all the way. It may just be a back and forth kind of thing, but obviously inspired by, oh, there, yeah, it does go all the way around. Again, I wasn't looking super close, and I love this image of it being landed with all the different landing gear that it has, and then climbing up in, having the little ladder. This is the kind of stuff that makes me happy. That's a really good picture. Well, congratulations, Soren, on being able to have Bricks and Minifigs let you take a picture of that. That's pretty cool. So congratulations and good luck. And lastly, our last one. Thank you so much for sticking out through this entire process. I believe this is number 31. I have not given a number to anybody. I've not told anybody's number. Number 31. This is by Zach T, who is actually related to one of our other entries, which is kind of fun. That's kind of neat. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you if the last name, the last initial is the same or not. I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to have to guess. So Zach T made the Red Wasp Interceptor. It's equipped with 4 laser cannons on each wing with 2 proton torpedoes on the underside. It's called the Red Wasp as the back of the ship, which holds its powerful engine, is shaped very similarly to the back of a wasp. Oh, it is. It's kind of unfortunate. I don't like wasps. So while we're looking at this, I'm sorry, I'm super tired right now. We're going to end this video so short when we're done with this one. This is a fantastic ship. I look at it, you say it's called the Wasp. I didn't even think about the back end of it. I just thought of that long stinger at the front end, which is absolutely awesome. This ship is efficient. It's got 1 engine in the back, and it's fast. That is awesome. Okay. Man, some of the techniques in this are really good. The striping is really well done. Getting that angle and trying to taper it down a little bit less by using those hinge pieces is really cool. The big old back end of it being the Wasp end is actually a really cool idea. I wouldn't have thought of that. I don't always. I'm really bad at thinking of animals when I'm designing a ship, as evidenced by the ATTC that's supposed to be after a reek, but isn't even close. The closest thing it has a kind of a horn on the front, and that's about it. So being able to design something that actually even looks like it was remotely close to an animal is fantastic and very impressive, Zach. That is a really good job. even though do have bad experiences with wasps, last year we actually had, I guess they're not wasps, they're yellow jackets that found their way into my house from under my porch. So we had a nest under our porch and they were flying into our house. Oh, my wife got stung so many times. We fought them with vacuum cleaners and professionals to get rid of them. And they're not back. Knock on wood. That was plastic. That's made to look like wood. So we were able to get rid of them. So good job, Zach. I apologize if this was a little bit out of it. I am out of it. I am tired. I have been talking for an extreme amount of time and it has been rough. But congratulations to Zach T and good luck. Okay. We are done. In the end, this video is approaching the 2-hour mark. It's insane. So, with that being said, vote for the first letters that you like. Vote for letters for the Parseval Contest, A, B, and C. For the main contest, give me your top 5. And if you'd like, you can do the rank choice voting, as I mentioned earlier, which means you can choose a first, second, third, fourth, and fifth choice, and they will get points based on those, if they're first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. If you just give me your top 5 picks overall, we'll just split the points evenly and call it good. But we're gonna see how that works and see if things would change, or if people like that a little bit better and feel like their votes for who should win number 1 count more. And we'll kind of go from there. So thank you so much for hanging out. Again, leave your votes in the comments below. Make sure to vote for all 5 and for the one from the Parseval returning winners contest. Whew. I am exhausted. And voting will last for 1 week. I might actually have to do the video a little bit mobile, but hopefully that's not the case, as I'll be taking care of some stuff next week. I am so sorry. I'm exhausted. It's like practically midnight right now, and I just talked for almost 2 hours. Woo! You guys have a wonderful day. Get to voting, and congratulations to all of our entries. Every single one of them was fantastic. Every single one of them had some amazing stuff in there, and I just absolutely love seeing that. Thank you for letting me be part of this. This is so cool. This is so cool. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Having 34 entries into a contest. I remember entering contests myself that had like a couple dozen and thinking that was incredible, and I would be lucky to ever even get close to that. And we're getting close to 3 dozen entries into these contests. That's so cool and so exhausting, but I love it. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will catch you next time in the Lego room. And until then, I'm TJ the Brickwright. Play well.